Hello coders, and welcome back to my part 3 of the database migration, that is from SQlite to Room Persistent Library. So if you've not watched the last 2 videos, please go back and watch the first and the second, and then now you can watch the third and you'll be able to follow on what's going on. So briefly to explain what's going on here, so basically what we're doing is we created a database on Room and we created a database on SQlite. So the first one was to learn the process of creating the databases on Room and on SQlite. So we did those step by step. Like we created the first one, the first video where we entered our 3 items to the Room database, and we were able to see the database on the DB browser. I will open up the DB browser later on because that's what we'll be using today, because unfortunately I'm not using my laptop, which is a Linux. I'm using a Windows laptop and I'm having trouble trying to access the emulator on this laptop. So what I'm going to do, as you can see up here, I'm going to use my Samsung phone to try to enter the information in the database as you see. Like I'll show you how I'll do that, and we'll be able just to see the information on the database. That is the DB browser, because unfortunately we cannot open the emulator. And also it happens that in my previous video it happened the same, that we couldn't see the emulator. And the problem is this: I'm not yet able to find I'm not able to find a good recorder for my Linux laptop, because my Linux laptop is pretty good, and the problem is that I've not found a good recorder for it. All the recorders that I find have a sound problem, that it has a lot of echo in the background, so I don't feel like it's good to record videos with that because it has a lot of noise. Okay, I know this one has some noise too, but the Linux one is pretty noisy. So if you know any good recorders out there for the Linux laptops, please comment down and help me out on this one, because I've not been able to find any good one. That said, so briefly, Andre did introduce the Jetpack, and I think the Jetpack is pretty good. That's why I'm actually doing this series of database, because I did struggle when I was new into Android, trying to build the app's database with SQlite. And then I found out about Room, and I realized, oh, Room is pretty good and it's pretty straightforward, and actually we don't have to write a lot of code. I mean, I'm not against writing a lot of code, but if you can save time in Room, why not? So Android did introduce the architecture components, which are Room, Work Manager, Lifecycle, Navigation, Paging, and Data Binding, which I'm using for my Button Body Premium version, which is pretty good, because I feel like, hey, look, this is making work easier, why not use it? So please go ahead and do that. So the benefits of Room, let's say for example you're the kind of old coders who don't feel like trying the new technologies. I know that feeling. It does happen sometimes, but it's good to always look into the new technology too. So what are the benefits of Room? So briefly, object mapping, annotation, and to generate boilerplate, compile time, error checking, observable queries including RX Java, flowables, and live data. Yes, I said it, live data. Live data is pretty good because it does help your herp. What else do we have? We have list optional and Guava support, migration support, and finally you have to test your app, testing support. I find that pretty amazing because we need that. So I'm not going to talk about all the architecture components. I feel like it's pretty good for an Android developer to always be up to date with those information. So please go to the Android developers YouTube channel and try to find Jetpack and try to watch the video on the Jetpacks. They have a very good series of Jetpacks and what we have, like the benefits of each and every component, you know. So please be updated on that. So basically what I'm going to do is, unfortunately, I'm just going to enter things on my phone, and then it will open the DB browser and we'll be able to see from there. So first of all, let me go ahead and start the DB browser. So basically I have so many, so because I'm using my Samsung phone, it's going to be, I'm going to have a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna look for com.madonna.android. So that's what we're looking for. Oh, I know it's a lot because this is Samsung. So we go, it's right here. So basically we have databases. So basically sorry, as you can see, the database name is items, so we're gonna go and grab those two. So I'm gonna do that. Oh, nope. I'm just gonna sit here and save us to the desktop for now. Let me just save it to the desktop where it's easy to find. So there we go, and we have our, oops, sorry. We have our DB browser. So this is pretty easy. So I'm actually using my other laptop. So as you can see, we have the item table. So let me go show you that. That's going to be on the contract. So this is the SQlite database that we created. So we're just going through the project. This is the second video. So that's what we have. So we can come here and browse the data. Since, okay, the problem is that we don't, so I'm going to enter the data from my phone. So we just want to see what's there. So what's there right now is Saturday hello and Codas. Hey, how cool is that? So I'm going to enter something right now, and then we'll go ahead and save it back and see if it's saved. So let's do that. So since my phone is on, I'm going to go to the app and say, I love making Android application, and then I'm going to submit that. So what I'm going to do again is come here. Oops, no. I'm gonna have to find a fix for the Linux problem, so that we see if we will try to solve that issue, so that at least I can be recording on just my, so let's see. So what I'm gonna do right now is, since I've saved again, I don't know if I've never checked if you can actually refresh, but let me see. So I'm just gonna redrag it again here. Let's see if it worked, because I saved again. Oops, wait a minute. Let me try to remove that here. Those two first, and then I can rewrite. I know this, we're just doing this locally. Let's run the app. Oh, actually, I think I did not run the app. Oops. Yes, I have to apply changes. Okay. And then I probably relaunch it. Oh, but I don't think that's an issue. Actually, I can add one more. So okay, so let's come here and save us. Okay, 1 minute. And we're taking them there to the desktop, and then in the desktop, so I'm gonna open the DB browser again, and then and now I just have to find the solution to my Linux problem, and then I'll be set. Okay, so let's see what we've added to the database. So I'm gonna browse item table. There you go. So First part, we had Saturday Hello Coders. So we've added I love making Android applications, as you can see. If I scroll that, so as you can see, we've ended. So it means our code is working because we are actually entering the database, the data to the database, which is the SQLite item, and the tables. As you can see, the table are now the, what do we call the tables, the item table. So we have hello coders, it's Saturday, so today is Saturday, so that is confirmed. So what do I want to do? So basically what we want to do now is to migrate it. Do that through a simple process. I'm thinking, since we've already done an example of room, and then we've done an example of SQLite in the same project, which I thought would have been easier because we tried to build the database using room, and then we tried to build the database using SQLite, and now what we're doing is migrating it. Now, something that I want us to do, now that we have a problem with our device, with our emulator, what we're going to do is I'm going to do this manually. I'm going to insert the data on the main activity, which I will run the phone to access the DB browser, but we will be able to see the logs too and confirm that everything has been inserted. The DB browser will help us because you'll be able to see, like, hey, this is the database that now we have once we finish migrating. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop talking too much and go ahead and create a folder that we will call database migration. So if somebody is following this project, this is the easy way to do it. I've branched it like room SQLite. So inside the database migration, I'm going to put inside I'm gonna add let's say 3 classes or 4. So what we're going to do is that you can comment out the room or the SQLite if you want to, but in my main activity, I'm going to remove this code in main activity because the main activity will have a different code. So if you want to use the main activity for the other projects, like you see what I've done here, and comment this part for room database, what you'll do with the new migration is that code, I'm gonna wrap it outside. Like, let me just do it right now. So what I'm saying is that I'm gonna remove all this code. Actually, I'm gonna comment it out, all of it. So I'll comment this for room. Okay, let me just close this, and then I'm gonna write here. I know this is not the right way to do it, but I just didn't want to create like many repositories for the same, and comment this section for SQLite DB. So as you can see, so this one right here, let me just grab this one and start from there, and then I'm just gonna put this one here. We can say that, and then let me just remove that there and add that there, and then I'm gonna take this code out. The good thing is that if you follow the videos, you'll be able to get what I'm talking about if you start from one. So what I'm gonna try to do here is let me see what expected class annotation. Oh, okay, I see what's happening there, because I mean that's the end, so we don't need that, but that's outside. So let me leave a comment here. This section is for SQLite DB and room DB. Well, I hope this doesn't mean I'm very lazy on the project, but hey, I just didn't want to keep creating new things. So what I'll add here is just a tag probably, and then I also don't need to bind any views for now, because I'm not gonna start any of this, but I can just stay there, but I'm not gonna use the views because I will just insert it in here and run from there on create method which is just a simple way of doing it for now, but I'm just hoping that you can follow through the process. Let's also hope we'll not get into many errors or many crashes. But if we get into those two, we'll also solve them. So basically what I'm going to do is database, it needs to be just small migration. And in here, we're going to go ahead and do a class. Sorry, I'm doing this project in Java because I started it in Java. But otherwise, I think being able to do this from Kotlin to Kotlin, it's not that difficult, so somebody can actually do it. So this is what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm not going to use the SQlite class from. The reason as why I'm not doing that is because I don't want to confuse the entire project, because this is completely different and this is completely different. So this one right here, we can also do it differently. I think what I could have done is maybe create 3 projects and just add them in this one folder, to which I might do that, like refactoring the entire project for GitHub in case you want to use it. That might be easier, but still, if you follow through, you'll be able to understand, because I'm not gonna activate everything. I'm just gonna as long as I'm not entering anything, as long as I'm not entering anything, I don't see actually any problem. So, and I'm gonna name everything of course differently too, so there's nothing that's gonna be the same. So I don't want to spend also a lot of time doing this one today, so I'm gonna go ahead and enter this code pretty quick right here, and Java class. So I'm gonna have an ItemDBHelper. Maybe we can do it a little bit different, that is by adding an integer, because the other ones we just have like item, which is strings. We can add an integer this time around so that we can see how that one will be. Might be also another way to learn something new. So we already have that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add a package and call it DAO. I can actually use the other DAO, but I feel like using the DAO from the room might confuse this project. So let me just create a DAO by itself. I hope anybody watching follows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, because previously we said we were migrating the SQlite, which this one will extend the SQliteOpenHelper to the room. So probably I'm going to have a DAO. I'm going to have another package of entities or model, or let me just call it model for now. And then I'm going to have another package of, so I'm just going to do 111. I'm going to have a package now of the room DB. So since I'm not using these two, so don't even think about these two. So let me stop talking about those two. So in here in the model, we're going to have item model. Let me just call it item model for now. And inside the DB, I'm gonna have their ItemDB migration. So that's the point, that's the keyword, DB migration, so that nobody confuses. And then on the DAO, we're gonna have an interface actually. So this is gonna be an interface because it has an interface, item DAO. So that's it. So basically I'm going to play around with those 3, add code to those 4, and then now come play around with my main right here, because like I said again, I'm not going to touch the add item activity because I'm not doing that. So you can see how I will do this one. So since we've already worked with the DAO, the SQliteHelper class, and it's easier for someone to follow what's happening with the examples, I'm going to go through, like, what I've just added here is the method inside item, because that's what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to do all these other things like update, delete, or anything. So I'm going to work on inside item, And then on the DB, I'm going to do this on my main activity like I said. So I only have the item down there, which I'm going to call on my main activity. My item model again is just the same as the other one here. And then my DB, my ItemDBHelper this time around, what I've done is that I've come here and did items like the table name items, table items, okay, items, and the table name it's here, right here, DB migration. And then now what I've done here is drop if it exists, and then add items. So what I've done is I've added the items and then get items. So these ones I'm doing them now in my SQlite class. And then what I'm going to do right now, because I don't want the video to be very long, so this one here, it's pretty different from this one. As if you can see in the beginning of the video, I show you using this example how we insert that's actually I've changed. So this time around I'm using an integer, so there's a change there. So this is what we did with the other one, which we opened the phone or ran the emulator, and then we could insert just using the phone. But right now, since I don't have that, I'm just going to do this other way. It's the easiest way I could have thought of doing, because if we don't have an emulator, at least to show people, you know. So let me close that, because I'm not using that anymore. So right now I'm using this one, to which I'm open to. So this one is what we'll be migrating to our new room database. So version is 2, version is going to be 2. So let me go ahead and now add the main methods. So I'm going to come to my main here, and then I'm going to call the ItemDBHelper. Let me call the ItemDBHelper, and then I'm going to say ItemDBHelper will be equals to new ItemDBHelper this. And then what are we going to do? We're going to take ItemDBHelper dot, I'm going to add items. So let me show you what we're using. Oops, not that one, right here. ItemDBHelper dot add item right here. So this is what I'm doing right now. That's the method that I'm calling here. So what are the items that I'm adding? So it's going to be a new item model, and then inside, so according to the item model, the constructor takes, let me go to item mode, it takes an integer. Let me see, where is the constructor? Do we have a, okay, it's right here. It takes an integer, it takes a string and a string. So that's what we're going to do. Let me close the ones that I'm not using, so that we don't have a lot of confusion. But I don't think there's confusion. So we're going to put 1, and then I'm going to say hello, and then another string, database migration. So I can just insert like, how many? Let me just do like 2 more or 3 more, 4. We can just change this to 2. We can change this to 3. It's not, we can change this to 4. Instead of having duplicate, we can say happy cotton. Here we can say happy Saturday, because it's Saturday today. Happy lunch, yep, and then hello. So after that, I'm going to, let me add a log here, because I need to log so that we can see when we run the emulator on the log cut. So I'm gonna have string, I'm gonna do a private string, private string log, which will be equals to, I'm going to call it migration, so that we can capture that pretty quick, because we are dealing with migration. So what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to say log log.v. It's gonna take a string, so we're gonna say here log, and then I'm gonna write db created using SQlite database. So that is the significance of that part, because we need to see the DB being created through that. With how many items? With 1, 2, 3, 4. With 4 items. And then I'm going to go ahead and add, after the log v, I'm going to say the item model. I'm going to call it item model will be equals to the item DB helper dot, we're gonna get the items 1, and then I'm gonna close that, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a log dot v again, and then what we're gonna do inside here, we're going to do log that one, and then I'm gonna get item model sorry, dot get item 1, and then again I'm gonna say item model dot get item 2, and then item model dot get item 3. And then I'm gonna close that. I see I have an error, so let me see what's happening here. Make return a throwable. To which that's okay. And then now probably I should be able to run and see if we can see anything inside it. And as you can see, we have here migration database, hello database, migration, DB creating, So we've logged in that. So basically, let me go migration. So let's go ahead and check what DB browser and see what we got. So I'm gonna open the DB browser. So the thing that's helping us with this project is the DB browser. I think it's pretty good because canonical reason file is not a database. Oh, okay. I think this is the database. Sorry. So as you can see, items. So let me see here, items. There you go. So this is the good thing with what we are doing. So because if you go back to our code here, this is what we have, the DB migration main activity. This is what we've added into the DB. As you can see, hello, happy lunch, happy Saturday, happy coding. And if I can bring that here, I have to. If I can drag this here, you can see the comparison, like hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, hello, happy lunch. And the 1, 2, 3, 4 is entering on the item 1 as specified. So we have hello, happy lunch, happy Saturday, happy coding. So we've confirmed that we have a database on this next database migration that is working. So now let's go ahead and do the migration. So bear with me. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to close that, and then we will definitely again. Oh, something else that I want you to note is that sorry about that. Let me show you something else that I want you to note. If you open the DB browser, let me open it. If you pull this in here, if you pull this, it shows you here. Let me see. Where is that? Oh, this one does not indicate. But I wanted to show you where it says, anyway, let's see if we can see an example when we continue coding, because I don't want to confuse it. So what I'm going to do here now is bring the migration instance. So I'm going to say final migration will be equals to new let me just call this let me call this migration so that it's easy for one to spot. 1 2 will be equals to new migration. There we go. So in here we're gonna say 1 to 2. I hope we have, yeah, let me just say 1 to 2 for now. So in here I'm gonna say int version will be equals to the database dot get version. Let's get the version, and then here let's do a log again. Log.v a string. We're gonna do log again, or actually let me just do, I'm just gonna do old version, and in here I'm gonna say version, this one right here. I think it takes 3 things, message plus, yeah, and then I'm gonna close this. And don't forget, so what definitely I'm going to do is that what we should see is that in any database migration, if you understand what's going to happen is eventually you just have to have this here and an additional of what we've inserted here. One thing that I want to mention, please don't do this on your main thread because it's going to lock the UI and it's not safe. So this is just for, what is it called, more of like practice, because when you're coding, like for example, when for my budgeting buddy I have like 4 tables, that's pretty different. It is pretty hard to trying to migrate everything. So my PRs have been like little, like just say doing the expense first, trying the expense, and then I did again the budget. So slowly by slowly. So first I started with the items. I did manage to do that. That was the first migration. So like that. So eventually what we will need to see is this right here being saved with an additional of this. So let's go ahead and do that. So, and the good thing is that we can see, this is because we have this DB browser, and the DB browser really helps because we have to see it. If you don't see it, then I mean, how do you know that you've done that? Well, we'll also check the logs. Let me see. We need to see the V, but anyway, before that happens, let me just close this first and then come here and open that. I'll open our DB browser. So we keep getting these errors. So previously we had just the data. Okay, oh please. So we have SQlite room, and then we have our DB. So remember, our DB name is ItemDB migration. Let's go and confirm. This one is right here, ItemDB migration. That's the name of the DB. And then this name that you're seeing here, the name, this one here, the table name, create table. That's the name we created on the entities. That's the name of the entity. So we need just to browse this and confirm first if we have everything there. So let's do that. Oops, what am I doing? I think I'm pretty tired too. So we're gonna do the browser, but please, I'm crossing my fingers on this. Holy moly. So okay, let me see. Oh, where are you? Come back here. So basically, you can see the project. I know the project is not perfect, but as you can see here, we got okay, I need us to see. So we got the files that we added, which is the ItemDBHelper. We got hello database migration, which is that. So what we've added to the DB is migration successful and happy coding. Migration successful Saturday, da 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 da. Let me push that there. Let me pull this back here. I think that's, let me just close this and try to pull. Oh, I don't think that's possible. Okay, so, but as you can see, that's what happened in Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday is right here. Happy Saturday database migration, and then dum. Oh my goodness. So eventually that's what you should have. I mean, because you managed to, so it should bring the previous database. So something else that you, as you can see here, we have SQLite sequence, and then we have now the room, and with that let me try to push this one a little bit here. So with that, I'm gonna say thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you for watching. The code's gonna be on GitHub. I'm going to fix my laptop so that at least we can be able to debug using the online emulator instead of my phone, because it's much easier. But either way, we did try. So to just a little bit of recap is, please make sure you don't use this to, I'm not using this to room and SQLite. I did create a DB helper here, which was pretty new. And then I did do item model, which is just same. I did do a little bit of that. The DAO, which I'm not doing many things, which is just insert item. That's what I'm just doing. And then my main activity right here, which is just that I've just added this code right here. I'm not doing anything big. Add item, we're not even touching this class, so we're not running that class. We're just playing with the main activity here. So that's just it. And then we do have the other commented section down here if you want to use this too, so you can try to read where I say uncomment this for room or uncomment this for SQLite DB. It's not very hard if you've watched the two videos. And with that, thank you very much for watching. Please let me know if you have a problem anywhere. I'll be glad to help. I know the project is pretty big. It took a lot of hours too. And that's it. Thank you very much.